You wouldn't go drive down the highway completely blindfolded. But I think a lot of developers, when they go build their agents, they're essentially building their agents totally blindfolded. They're not using tooling that allows them to actually see what their agents are doing. So that's why we built AgentOps. My name is Adam, I'm the founder of AgentOps. AgentOps is the leading observability, monitoring, and testing platform for AI agents. We work with all the major frameworks like CrewAI, Autogen, LangChain, Agno, and a bunch of other amazing vendors. We also have Agency, which is our consulting arm, where we work directly with companies to build custom agents for them. And we've been working with every type of company you can imagine, everything from venture-backed startups to Fortune 50 businesses, building out custom agents for them. My whole life, I've just been trying to automate my job. I hope some of the people listening to this feel the same way. When I saw the power of ChatGPT initially and a few of these other tools that existed out there, I realized that work was going to change completely for a lot of people. And my co-founder and I, we ended up starting to build data entry automation agents. But the agents weren't reliable enough for large enterprises to go and use them. And that's when we realized you actually have to build tooling to make these agents really reliable. And that was the inception of AgentOps. So AgentOps actually started as internal tool that we use for debugging our agents. And quickly realized that there's tons of companies out there and businesses that really needed this tooling in order to actually bring their agents into production. We want to empower the next billion agents to be on the internet. If we build the tooling that allows these agents to really go and be as successful as possible, to go and be production grade, that's where the biggest impact is going to be. Within AgentOps, in 2 lines of code, you can monitor everything your agent does end to end. So you can see every interaction it takes, everything from writing your first line of code all the way through to fully executing the agent in production. Logging is actually one of the most important pieces, to actually logging every interaction that your agent does end to end. And this is one way that we're really helping companies progress on the AI agent front, is that we're allowing them to say, from day 0, you can trust your agent because now you have the ability to actually monitor everything it's doing end to end. A lot of companies have MDM software, mobile device management, where they track what their employees do on their computers. You can look at AgentOps as a way to actually monitor what your agents are doing as they're working their day-to-day jobs. On average, we're seeing developers cut their development time in half by using our observability tooling. The reason is because they can actually see what their agents are doing. They can actually go and debug it with ease. So this is a huge factor for anybody who's building out these systems, is that you need to actually understand where they're succeeding, where they're failing, and we have a bunch of different ways to actually monitor these within AgentOps. But I will say the biggest success is we see indie developers who are building entire companies just by using one of these frameworks paired with AgentOps. And we see large teams who are saying, okay, we had budgeted 6 months to go build out this agent, and are now doing it in a matter of weeks sometimes by actually having tooling that allows them to rapidly iterate very quickly. One of the biggest factors when we're working with companies is actually tracking the ROI of these agents. We track all the costs, all the API costs, all the tooling costs associated with these agentic runs, and actually allow you to, in real time, analyze, okay, here's the actual positive ROI of building an agent. A good example of this is if you have a writer who's writing blog posts, and each blog post costs $50, for example. Within AgentOps, you'd be able to monitor what your cost of your agent writing those articles is, and maybe it's 10, 20 cents or something like that. And being able to tangibly see here's the ROI impact is massive for businesses across all sizes. On the agency side, we build custom agents for companies. We understand what the problem looks like, and we go and actually build the agents from the ground up. On the AgentOps front, it's totally free to get started. After you track a certain amount of sessions, we start charging for it. And then on the enterprise plan, just depends on what features are required. A lot of companies are coming to us from this position of what data is my agent accessing? How do I make sure that my agents are going to be safe and reliable when we actually release them out there? So I look at a lot of the products from Okta as this almost a bridge right now in terms of getting agents into a place where they actually can be reliable. Companies can trust that they know what data is being shared with the agents. If companies are trying to really move at light speed or trying to really be on the bleeding edge, having access to this type of tooling will actually allow them to innovate a lot quicker and actually bring these products to market and take them from just these little POCs into something that's actually production grade that the teams can trust and actually reliably use an enterprise scale. My biggest recommendation is don't let your competitors start building agents before you do. This technology's here, it exists today. There's ways to get started in a very low risk way. I think using some of the tooling from Okta is a great way to get started. Using some of the most bleeding edge frameworks is a great place to get going. And then using observability like AgentOps is one of the pieces that can actually get you over that gap. You will see a world where companies are going AI native from day 0, and you want to make sure that you can compete with them. So my biggest recommendation is if you're here today, go to your engineering leaders, figure out, okay, how can we actually start POCs? How can we actually start testing this technology and be in a position that in the next few years, your company emerges as one of the leaders within your space on the agent side, because the technology is here and incumbents are ready to start competing.